Welcome back to the house. I hope all of you watching this are having an amazing day. I want to introduce our guest, Turtle. How you doing? Welcome to the house.
Pretty good. Thanks for having me.
No problem. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with a little bit with introduction. And just introduce yourself, what you do, profession, where you grew up.
So my name's Faqrudin Ali, but I go by Turtle. I grew up in the Caldwell area. When I came to Canada in 92, we moved to Caldwell in 93, and I've lived there for about 10 years, and then we moved out. Right now, I work at Carlington Community Health Centre as a community developer, and yeah.
Okay, that's great. So I just want to know, so Turtle, the name Turtle, where does it come from?
So the name Turtle. So it was I was living in Caldwell, and at the time it was I was in grade 6. We were finally allowed. It was a summer, and I finally asked my mom. I was like, "Mom, can I please walk to Gowling?" So at the time I was going to W Gowling. I was like, and then all my friends they were like, "Yeah, we'll walk to Gowling. We'll walk to Gowling." And then finally she was like, "Okay, you're allowed this one time." I was like, "Okay." So I told all of them, I'm like, "Yo, tomorrow we're gonna go walk to school." So we got to school late. Some of the guys blamed me for walking slow. So and then they were like, "Yo," when we got into the class and the principal, everybody asked us why we were late. And then they're like, "Oh, he was walking like a turtle." So at recess time, they're like, "Yo, turtle, turtle, turtle." I was like, "No, man." Like I was trying to fight it. And then it just got stuck from there. And then I didn't even realize it until at the end of the day, someone showed me, and I had a turtle shirt on that day, so it just got stuck from there.
Okay, I get that. It's funny how a lot of nicknames starts like that too. There's always a story behind it. So you mentioned that you grew up in Caldwell, and so like, how was it growing up in there?
It was really good. I loved growing up in Caldwell. A lot of people might say, "Oh, it's a tough neighborhood," or it gives this like media attention where it's like if little thing happens, they're like, "Oh, Caldwell is bad," or "Caldwell is this." But honestly, growing up there, everybody was nice. We usually go play basketball. We do all what the kids do, but yes, is there fights and stuff? Yes, but when you're living there, you feel amazed because like that's why I'm still there working, because I'm attached to the community, and I feel like it's been so good living there, and I'm always like trying to give advice and stuff to kids that live there right now. So I enjoyed my time at Caldwell. So
Okay, that's great. Did you face any struggles while living there?
I think the only struggles were just having access to gym or space where kids can go and play basketball. Because I remember at a time they used to have a thing called Midnight Ball, and it used to be ran. One of the guys who used to run it was McCool, and that's the father of Mario Shayak. So he used to run it there, and then I used to be like begging to be like, "Please, can I join?" But at the time I was 14, 15, but I could play ball, but we weren't allowed. So it was just like, having access, doing something, staying out of trouble. That's the thing. It's just like if you have something to do, you're always going to be out of trouble. So.
Yeah. I think that's one of the downfall of living in our community is that we have a lot of active kids. We have a lot of people who want to get involved, do a lot of things, but our space is limited.
Yeah.
Right? We have a little place where we can go and do amazing work, and so what else we do? We just like walk around the neighborhood, nothing
That's it. It's like if you're not going into a gym or if you're not being productive, you're gonna do something else.
Yeah.
You're gonna go hang out at the park, at the quickie. You're gonna get into other things if you're not doing something productive at the moment.
Yeah, I think that's what they see from outside, right? They don't really understand the internal issues, which is like you mentioned, space, right? Like amazing people leave here, amazing kids have a lot of talent, want to do something, but we're restricted because the space is not given to us, right? And I think, and then they just end up seeing that we end up being blamed that we're bad with this and this, but that's because you guys never give us the chance, the space, and the opportunity. Yeah, and so. You mentioned that you work as a community developer.
Yeah.
Okay. And so can you just tell us, got us through your path that, like, school that made you, that led you all the way to here?
So I went to Carlton University, but I took business.
Okay.
So I never took the social science part, but I remember when I was living in Caldwell, there was a guy from the city of Ottawa. His name is Mike Dubé. I used to go to the gym a lot, and then he was like, "Hey, Turtle, you come here so much. Like, do you want to be a counselor? Like, do you want to work? Like, you come here often anyways. Why don't you get paid?" So I was like, "Really?" And then so I applied, and then from there, I just learned how to communicate with younger kids and the kids in the neighborhood. And then from there, I got the opportunity to grow with the city of Ottawa. And then I got my opportunity with the Carlington Community Health Centre to work with the SWAG program. And I did that for 2 years. And then the community development position came up. And then I took that. With that, I like it so much because we work in the community still, and I grew up there. So with one of the thing that we have with Carlington and with my field is just there's three things that with the program with the CDF that we do, and some of the things are 3 points. So food insecurity, safety insecurity, and sense of belonging. So I have to capture those 3 points within my neighborhood that I grew up in. And it's so easy because I know everybody there. And so I'm like, okay, you know what? How can we improve with food insecurity if we're lacking some stuff? So maybe can we make a garden? Can we get the market mobile? Good food on the move.
Yeah.
And then safety and security is just like doing a audit report with like, okay, there's no lights there, there's too many branches and stuff. And then when we do with the sense of belonging, it's doing activities, events, and getting everybody together and getting involved.
Man, that's some great work being done because a lot of places you don't see that happening.
Yeah.
A lot of people are still needing food, are still needing security, are still needing all the things that you just mentioned. They don't have access to it. So having a program like that really back in the community, it helps. So maybe people may not see it, but in the long run, actually does help the community in a better way. And so you've worked a lot in the community as well.
Yeah.
And what is the struggle that you've seen the youth faced?
Right now is the most struggle that we're facing with the pandemic going on with COVID. This is the most struggle that we face because one, there is no, like for a while, kids couldn't go outside for physical activities. And not only that, now we're facing mental health issues. So with all that, so it's just getting, if we can get more space and distance from each other, getting them active, getting them more healthy, getting them more into like a better stage. Because right now, before, it was just like, oh, okay, I get to do whatever I want, whether go to the gym, go play basketball outside. But now we are limited. They can't do as much anymore because of social distancing. Yeah. So it's a lot of struggle. So most of the kids, they're doing virtual things, whether that's through Zoom, whether that's through IG, all that stuff. And the number of kids, so if, let's say they're in school and they're on the computer in the morning, parents won't put them on the computer again in the evening. They're going to be like, hey, you've been on there all day. You got to do something else. So we might not be getting the numbers that we want through the virtual meetings or virtual activities that we do. So right now that we're in stage 3, it's kind of nice that at least we can go outside and then that we can go to the gym and stuff like that. So hopefully, to answer that question, with the pandemic, it made it more difficult than before.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely true.
Yeah.
You also touched a little bit on mental health, which is also an issue that we face. I don't think there's not a lot of talk around that. And so can you just give us a little bit insight on how do you think that's impacting our youth?
A lot of our youth right now are suffering through mental health, and that's just not only to do with COVID or through this pandemic, but just throughout coming to Canada, coming to a new country, whether that's through culture shock, whether that's through not knowing how to access employment or how to get things done. But the one thing that I would say with the mental health part is just anyone who needs help, like I hope that they can get the help that they need or reach out to someone or talk to someone. Because when you speak to someone, they can reach out to you, or when they reach out to you, you can reach out to someone else that can help them. Because if you don't know how to help that person, get someone else that knows how to help them. Because mental health is a big thing in our neighborhood. And right now, our numbers are going to increase because they haven't gone outside. They haven't done a lot of stuff, whether that's through living in the house with parents telling you don't do this, don't do that, and then now getting that freedom to go outside. There's going to be some issues that we're going to face, but hopefully that there's going to be more funding towards that in the long run, and hopefully that the government can fund and get us some fundings to do a lot of mental health
And
programs.
that's what we need. We need that issue to also be tackled as much as we need anything else right now, because that's something that sticks with us in the long run. That sticks with us as we keep going. All things we faced is gonna like dawn on us, play with our mind, and as long as we stay in the same, I say, system, it's gonna keep on coming. And I think that's like one of the pressing issue, and it's also related to a lot of things that are happening in our communities as well too. And so moving on from the mental health aspect, I know that you also coached as well too.
Yeah.
So you coach basketball, and can you touch a little bit on how you coach, and what is it that you saw that basketball gave to the youth?
So I started coaching, I want to say 16, 17 years ago, through a program called SYBL and Somali Youth Basketball League. And from there, I just started growing and enjoying the basketball aspect. And then one of my buddies, Sean McCann, and I then finally started a basketball program at Bellevue, and where we could compete against other kids in the city, other clubs. And so with the help of Canada, we got into the OBA, but all the kids had to do was just come out, show up to practice, work hard, give back, and they get to be on the team. So most of the funding came out of Sean McCann and myself, our pocket. And I enjoyed it at that time, and it was really good. A lot of kids came through that program. A lot of kids, like Jean-Jacques went through it. Jason, Kevin, Shamar, Jacques, Kevin Medalist, Shadra. Look, the list goes on. A lot of people that played in that league. But then I was like, you know what? I really like this. Maybe I need to start learning more. Then we started coaching high school ball, and then I started helping out with the Merville Marauders at high school. We coached the senior team, so we started with the juniors, followed them up. We won 2 city. We won 2 bronze in OFSA, and it was really good. And then finally, I was always an assistant coach, and then I got my opportunity coaching through summer league, and with summer league was like one of my favorite things. Like it's, if people don't know about summer league, it's like it's so sad because I'm getting calls even right now to be like, hey, there's no summer league going on. It's one of the best leagues that happens during the summer because all the kids from every school come together and they play for their neighborhood. So you get to play against other people in your area and stuff. So the best team that we always play against and we love it. It's just I don't even know if it's a rivalry or I don't know what it is, but it's just like playing Ritchie is just like it's always if we're not winning, they're winning, you know. So it's really good, competitive. And then through there, I got the opportunity to coach at Notre Dame with a good teacher there, Keely Mannion, and we won the city here, and then we won OFSA silver medal. So it was a good, and then finally I got the opportunity. I was asked to be one of the coaches at CTA. So finally, my steps have been coming through, and then I'm really happy to be part of CTA and coaching and learning a lot of basketball from Tony, Jamie, and Trevor and stuff. So it's really good. So, but basketball can get you a lot of places, but for me, I'm always talking to the youth. Because at the end of the day, basketball, you'll get somewhere, but for how long? You'll play probably, if you're really good, maybe till 35. Then now what? You gotta go back to Plan P. Like, what did you have? You know? So I always talk to them about, like, education. Like, how do you get there? What are you gonna do after? Like, you gotta, like, you know, basically I mentor them. So I'm more of if someone were to ask me what kind of coach are you, I'm more of a player's coach than an actual like XO guy. So I talk to them, they trust me, and that's how the trust is how they develop. And that's, you know, like anybody can look at the guys that we had at Notre Dame that we won with. Most of them are from Ritchie. And honestly, people thought, oh, we're not going to do good. We went to OFSA, they ranked us 11th, and like we almost had the gold. So, but it's all about the trust that you build with the youth. And once you build that trust, is that consistency. Because once they trust you, they believe in you, and what you tell them, they're going to follow it. So for me, I'm more of a player's coach where I love teaching them, mentoring them, showing them things that they can do on the court and off the court. So.
Yeah, I agree on that. You touched on two things actually. One was I was actually talking to the latest one, which was trust within the youth. I think it's essential to create trust with the youth because that's what we gravitate towards.
Yeah.
We know that this person is someone I can trust, and there's nothing that someone can come and say about that person that'll be like, nah, that person's not trustworthy because I know I've experienced it myself. Someone I can trust, and I think that's what a lot of people need, especially because we have a lot of workers that come to our community and try to help us, which is great, and we're thankful for that. But sometimes, what I think that sometimes lack is the trust with the youth, right? Because people that usually come and help us are rarely people that work also in our community. It's usually the outside. They don't really know the dynamic within, and so even if you come and help us, you still have that bias where like you heard that our neighborhoods are bad. You know, you heard that we do this in our neighborhoods, and so you're not really able to help us fully. But then if you're able to create that trust with the youth and you as well too, there's a lot of work that you see the beauty in this. And also one thing was that you mentioned was ball can take you so far. I think this is essential. Not saying that we don't love ball. Like I love ball. You know, like I still play when I get a chance to go. I still play, but I had hoop dreams too at one time. You know, but I got out of those hoop dreams because I realized that there's a lot more out there than ball. Okay, ball is great. If you have the talent, you can make it far with ball. 100% you're gonna do it. But for those who also are not great at ball, but yet also have that ball dream, I think also looking at also education too, putting emphasis on education is also important. I think that's the conversation that will also, just like mental health, I think that's also a conversation we're failing to have with a lot of youth, because I've seen that everything's all centered about ball, right? I've noticed our organization trying to come to us through ball, which is great, but it's just that one instance, right? It's just that one moment. What comes after that, right?
Yeah, because I remember when I was in high school, one of my coaches, he was really good. His name's Donato, and he's one of the principals at Maryville right now. But he's always like, "Oh, like, you want to play, you have to get this mark. Like, you have to get this mark. You have to get this mark. So for me, I was always like, man, he wants me to play, so I have to get this mark. I'm like, okay, frick, I got to try now. So I was always trying in school. So once I achieved my marks and I was playing, but little did I know he was actually pushing me to be like, you know what, take these academic classes because you'll go to university. So once I realized, honestly, I was like, you know what, I'm not good enough, or like I'm not, like, I don't have basketball in me. I was like, now I have my grades. And I'm like, so what do I do with it? It's me now. So I go to university. So I went to Carlton. So, and then that's where I was like, okay, you know what, basketball is not for me. I'll coach now. I'll take a different route, but I'm going to go and pursue my career now. So it's like, for youth, what I would tell them is, basketball, yes, you can play basketball, but know what you need to do, because basketball, yes, it can get you university and do whatever, but what happens after that 4 years? Like, it's rare. You go to pro, no problem, but what happens when you don't go to pro? So that means you gotta look back and be like, okay, what did I take? So take the classes that you actually need. If I were like, for me, because I went into business because I didn't consult with anybody. I didn't have anybody to be like, oh, this is what you need to take, or this is what you want to take. I wish I had someone to tell me, you know what, Turtle, what do you want to do in life? What do you want to take? Because I would have been so much better. Because I went into business and I ended up now being in social work. You know, had I known my passion was for social work, I would have gone to social work. You know? So it's like, if I were to give an advice or something, I'd be like, hey, what do you want to do? Like, what are you passionate about? You know what? You want to teach? Go into teaching. You want to be a construction worker? Do this. You want to be a maintenance? You want to be architecture? Do this. Follow your dream, what you want to do. Because I forgot, there was a saying that, you know, if you love what you do, it'll never feel like a day of work. So it's just like, so if you love what you do, your job, right now I love what I do. So for me, it doesn't even feel like work. Going into the community, talking to people, so it doesn't even feel like work, and I get paid for it. It's just like a guy who plays sports. He loves what they love what they do, and it won't feel like it. So if we can get the youth in our neighborhoods to know what they want and enjoy what they're doing, like, you know, like, I feel like even you guys doing this podcast, this is amazing. Like, it's really nice. Like, I wish, like, you know, we can get more kids doing this, you know?
Yeah. And so, staying on that topic, but switching into a little bit of mentoring, right? Because you mentioned you want to have more kids doing that. And in order for have more people doing it, is that we need to have mentors, right? Most of the things I learned right now, I didn't learn growing up. I didn't have no one teaching me those life lessons, those life skills that I needed to take. It's until now that I got older, I found someone on my own, and I started making conversation with other people. They're like, oh, yo, I wasn't also taught this, and you kind of like, and started reading books as well. That's how I end up knowing most of the things I know, right? And so, but right now we need to put emphasis on mentoring, right? Mentoring the next generation, in order to have this type of thing that we're doing right now continue, right? And also have other things as well to continue, because there's a talent hidden here in the community as well. So how important would you say mentoring is to the development of the youth?
For me, mentoring is a big thing. Because when you have a mentor, it's easy for you to move forward. Because I feel like, for me, I remember there was a guy by the name of Fremp. He works with the city of Ottawa. And then I went up to him, I talked to him, and he was like, you know what? No problem. I asked him, I was like, hey, listen, like, you know, can you just mentor me a little bit and just tell me the ins and outs of the city of Ottawa stuff? So one of the things that he told me, he was like, in a meeting, he would always be like, okay, Turtle, you're taking minutes. I honestly, before that, I promise you, I have no idea what minutes were. So, and then he explained to me, it's just us having a meeting, and whatever we talk about, all the important things, you write it down. So things like that. Once you told me, I became good at it. And then now every meeting I go to, I make sure that if there's someone taking minutes, or I'm taking minutes myself. But it's just when you have a mentor, you fall back and they can tell you, okay, this is what you need to do, this is where you need to follow. For me, I'm always giving the advice of the youth, being like, hey, listen, what you want to do. How can I help you get to where you want to get to? If I cannot help you, I'll make sure that I can get someone else to come help you.
Yeah.
So it's just mentoring is very important. It's a big piece of in our youth. And I wish growing up, I wish there was more mentors around me when I was growing up. There wasn't much. So for me, I'm like, I put it myself, if I had a mentor, would it be much easier growing up? Yes. So I'm like, okay, you know what? Now give back. Do what you can in this neighborhood and give back. For me, being at the Caldwell and working at Caldwell, it's so much easier. But when I see the youth and stuff and talking to them, it's so much easier. And for them to feel at ease, and then it becomes that trust part.
Yeah.
Because once you get that trust, you get the trust of the parents, and it's easy to mentor them, whether it's through school, whether it's through education. And then it's just like, okay, how can we mentor? Okay, you need a resume. Okay, we'll get like someone to help you build your resume. You need a job. Take this job. Take this. So it's just teaching them. I think mentorship and leadership is some of the biggest things that we need in our neighborhood.
Definitely, I agree with you on that. Because I attend Carlton as well too, and I work for the student experience ICO, student experience office, and so they always give us a shirt, right? And I also worked as a peer mentor for the next upcoming first year, and so they always give us this purple shirt that says, "Where there's a mentor, there's a way." Okay, and I think that could really touches on what you're saying, right? Because you mentioned that if you have a mentor, he's going to teach you this. If you can't do it, he's going to find someone that's going to be able to teach you as well too.
Yeah.
And that just create endless opportunities. And I think it's important to add to the quote that where there's a mentor, there are endless opportunities,
Yep.
right? Because you can never fall short of opportunities if you have a mentor, right? Because I grew up without mentors, so I know there's opportunities I could have had that I fell short of. And so before we conclude, I just want to ask you two questions, right? So what advice would you give to yourself, your older self, your younger self, and what advice would you give to the youth now?
Oh. My old self, the advice I would give is trust the people that want to help you. Trust the people that want to be around you, that want you to do something great. Trust them, and then you'll get to wherever you want to get to. That's what I would tell myself. Because I, honestly, so hard growing up and trusting people. So it's like you don't know who really wants to help. But now if I could go back when I was younger, I'd be like, maybe give it a shot. Trust the people that want to help you. For future youth, I would say take advantage of all the people that want to help you. Listen to your parents. Listen to your counselors. Listen to your mentors. Like, listen to your community leaders. Because I feel like the people that are there before you can guide you and help you and be a better person. Because they've seen what is going on in the neighborhood and they want something better for you. So it's just like trust that this person, what they say, is going to actually work. Because right now it's like, I know this is not, it's off topic, but it's like I'm working on a program with, I'm on a board and I'm working on this thing that we're trying to bring to the neighborhood, and it's called Athletes Combating Racism. So it's just like, combating racism plus giving youth equal opportunities in our neighborhood. So it's just like when programs like that, anything like that comes in, trust them that they're there to help you. Because sometimes it's hard to trust people, but like for future youth, just that trust. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you on those two. The trusting, and if you were to go back to give an advice to your older self, trust in the people that want to help you, invest in those people. Yeah, I think in our community right now, we're also like very wary of who to trust because we've seen people come through help us and didn't work out, right? And so it kind of like now it's like I don't know if I should trust the person, but yeah, taking that chance, taking that step, taking that chance to actually trust someone is that step to you actually having success, right? And
it's like I agree with you with that. People like to come and be like, oh, I want to help out. And then they're there for either photo shoot or things like that, and then they're out. So with this program that I'm working on with them, combating racism, athletes combating racism, they're not going anywhere. So we're trying to be there for a long time, be consistency in the neighborhood, and be there, be a face that everybody can see. So it's just like, because if somebody's just coming in and being like, you know what, here is 20,000, do whatever you want, and then I come in and take a picture and photo, and then I'm out, you're not helping them. No one knows who. Yeah, at the moment, everybody's going to be happy about it. They're going to be like, oh, thanks. We got a nice net, we got a backboard, it's going to be nice. But they need to see that trust where it's like consistency of people coming in, and it's the same people, you know?
Yeah.
So
I agree with you on that, definitely. And so, thank you, Turtle, for coming and sharing your experience, sharing your thoughts, and just giving us some knowledge. Thank you very much. And so, for all of you watching, thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Also, make sure you subscribe. As always, I'm your host, Peggea. This is the House Podcast for us, by us.